Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of the book that we're discussing, that is 0 to 1. If you not watched the first video, please watch it. So I've given the overall background of what this book is about, and also I've spoken about chapter 1 about this book. So we'll directly start with the chapter 2, that is Party Like It's 1999. Very eye captivating title, Party Like It's 1999. So first of all, why is the author saying party, and why is he referring to 1999? So that is what we are going to reveal in this chapter. So in this whole book I have made some notes from where we can I can kind of refer. Also, I've made short notes that helps me summarize this. Um, so talk now. If you've watched the first video, in that the author, that is Peter Thiel, says that he talks about the one question, one truth basically. Whenever you asks, whenever you say it to someone, the particular person won't believe it, hardly believe it, right? So it's a real truth. So that is what it's called, contrarian truth. He's referred to the same thing as here is contrarian truth. What contrarian means? Anything opposite of truth. People believe in opposite of that, but you are saying a truth which is completely opposite of what people think, right? So, um, for example, when before the dot-com bubble that was happened in 1999, that is what the author is referring here when he says 1999. So he says that it was a very normal for companies in the US to make losses in 1990s to 1999. I mean, they were not thinking about making profits. I mean, in general, in today's world, whenever you talk about a business, first thing comes to our mind is it making profit? Whenever you do business, it's for profit, right? I mean, we are not doing business for losing money. So, but this thought was not prevalent before the dot com bubble. People were just trying new things, building new things. Uh, Initially, the thought was just to try new things and create something or build something. Profit was not the main criteria at that time, and no loss was big loss for them. So, you can understand what the author tries to say here. um, but before jumping to 1999, the author gives a very brief about what happened before 1999. Things were not like the whole decade from 1990s to 1999 or till the 2000s starting. It wasn't the great as just before dot-com bubble. Things were like the markets were flourishing, people were making a lot of money, but that wasn't the case in the early 1990s. Because if you see, there were a lot of things happening. Like in 1990s, there was a recession in US. The Berlin Wall in Germany collapsed. Internet had yet to take off at that time, and once the internet started to take off, it kind of changed beliefs of the people. Okay. At that time, if you remember, I mean, the if you know, in Apple we have that browser, right? That navigator browser. It goes back, the history goes back to 1990s, when there was a browser named Mosaic browser, which was released by a company that was later renamed to Navigator, and it was quickly adopted. Now this was kind of a start of internet, when internet just started to pick pace. However, as things went ahead, uh, the internet started flourishing all over the world. At the time, if you know, that Fed chair, who currently is Jerome Powell, but at the time there was a Fed chair who kind of warned people that since people are being so much optimistic about internet, people poured money in startups of internet companies. and that soared their valuation to very high multiples of P. Because of this, he kind of warned that there could be a bubble, and uh, like warning the investors and traders against the high valuation of the companies. Um, Also in 1997, there was a crisis in East Asia, the South Korea belt, right? Those countries, the ASEAN countries, you can say, they were facing a huge amount of crisis. Lots of people died. The economy was on their knees. Then in 1998, there was a very big ruble crisis in Russia when Russia kind of defaulted on its loan. People were very worried about this because a country like Russia, which has a high amount of news, has defaulted on a loan. That raises severe concern, right, against the safety of the world. Um, Given that this is a that was a nuclear armed country. Now, this this Russian collapse kind of created a chain reaction in the market. It created a panic, and due to that, there was a very famous hedge fund, long-term capital management. It went bankrupt. It was a hedge fund. It went bankrupt, and Fed had to bail it out by paying millions of dollars of investor money, right? So this story, which I've tried to say you now till now, it depicts what all happened before the crisis of 1999, right? And this is, if you see, this is till 1998 when the crisis of Russia happened. Now till here, internet started picking up pace, but as things improved, right, after 1998, things improved, kind of improved. People started to invest in these startups like crazy, like the internet startups specifically I'm talking about. There was too much money in the stock market. Startup which like which were launched a week before started to throw lavish parties in the like to their stakeholders. People, you know, the people had paid those bills through stocks. So they said, the restaurant people, that you take my stock, it will go up, and that is how I'll pay you bill. And the author also talks about a person he knows. He ran six companies at a time. Can you just imagine six companies? It's not even possible to raise fund for just one company. He was running six companies, and you also know most of these would have been bluff because there was a high valuation. People were just pouring money like anything, and I mean, the whole world was very much crazy. Um, Now, at this time, Peter Thiel launched his startup, PayPal. Now, he was very much worried about, while he launched the PayPal, he was very much worried about the market, right? People just started planning their whole IPO, like from bootstrap till the IPO. They completely planned it out, sitting in a room without even just taking the first step to launch a company. So, I mean, people were very much optimistic at that time, and they didn't know what was coming, right? Uh, then the author talks about how people kind of started. He kept his wit very much alive. That though the market is going crazy, people were pouring money without understanding the real concept of what the product was, and they were just like pouring money in like any kind of startup without any logic. But Peter Thiel thought that no, I'll create something which will be valuable for the people. Hence, he started this company, PayPal, and the whole point of PayPal was to make a digital currency which runs parallel to US dollar, and make payment kind of easy in everyday life. So they launched some products initially, which unfortunately did not work. Then, after some time passed, they launched email payment method. Right now, in this email payment method, basically people can pay money via email. uh, After that, so things started taking pace when they launched this new product, email payment. Now here author also says that they need to pivot every time, they did not need to stick on one logic. Moving forward, things started taking place. They were advertised. I mean, there was an article in Wall Street Journal that kind of changed their fate. Wall Street Journal, Wall Street Journal posted an article talking about the tremendous amount of growth the company had made. And once the article was published, investors started again pouring a lot of money. Now the author knew that the dot-com bubble is coming near. Uh, he thought to raise funds as soon as possible before the bubble pops out. So what he did is, once the Wall Street Journal launched, published their article, investors started pouring money at even discussing about the, you know, despite knowing nothing about the startup, they just started pouring money, saying that take this money, I want stake in this company. So once this happened, and as soon as they completed the round funding round, the bubble popped. The Nasdaq fell like crazy, right? I mean, if you go to the website, maybe on Google also, you can see the dot-com bubble crash. um, Now the lessons learned from this. Now what There are two types of lessons which the author talks. One, the industry which learned from this, and what the author wants to give the lesson to the new startups, right? The first one is, always take small steps, stay humble, and respect who claims big, and suspect who claims big. Sorry, and suspect who claims big. So basically, whenever who says try to bluff, you need to always question it if he's saying true or not. Second thing is, stay lean and flexible. Do not plan anything, but if you plan, you will be very much strict, very much position that I'll be doing this. I will not be looking anywhere else. But the author says, I mean, the lessons which were learned, that no, I mean, we should reiterate the process every time and maybe think of innovation, which people learned from it. Next is improve on competition. So basically, it says don't try to create a new market initially, rather improve the current market. So once you start to improve, you understand the market, then you can kind of create a new market. That is what the author has said. Next is focus on product, not sales. Now, if any product which requires an advertisement, it is not a good product. That is what this for Wall Street believed. However, what the lessons the author wants to convey is, first, better to risk boldness than uselessness. Okay, you need to take risks. You need to take risks. That is what he has said. Second thing, contrary to the point, right, that you have to be lenient, flexible, do not have plan, iterate it again and again. But the author says you have to at least have some basic plan. Even if the plan is bad, you will at least learn from it. There should be at least some amount of risk which should be involved in the uh, in the startup, or else if you're playing safe, then you will not be able to create anything new. You will not go from 0 to 1. You will not be inventing anything. Next, the third thing is, competitive market destroy profit. If you are entering in an already set up market, there will be very high competition, right? And you will and the large corporates who have huge cash pile, they will just crush your business. So that is what he said. Don't enter into already created market. However, create a new market. I mean, this is very much contrary to what the Wall Street thought when Wall Street learned from those instances. Next is, sales matter as equivalent as product. So basically, even if a product is good, there is no sales, then doesn't make sense. Your sales number, revenue numbers are as important as the product quality. Hence, the whole point is take risk, believe in 0 to 1. We may need excessive, we may need excessive overconfidence, like it's 1999, right? I mean, if you want to grow, if you want to take risk, then you need confidence like the people had in 1990. Then only you will be able to grow. So that is what he wants to say in chapter 2. I know a lot of these things might be very much controversial, but that is what the author has to say in this chapter. Thank you very much. I know this video has been a bit long, but thank you very much for watching this till now. Thank you very much.